So today we're going to be talking about a very essential modification to any adventure touring bike, which is luggage. There's a lot of different opinions on luggage. There's opinions about having hard cases. I've had those and they are wonderful for what they do. Particularly the top loading ones, I think, were the ones that I enjoyed the most. This time around on this bike, I'm going with a soft luggage system because of A, try something different. B, I'm starting to come around to the fact that when the bike goes down, if you're in gravel or you're doing some light adventure off-roading, right? Particularly on the Triumph Tiger, you've got an issue with some of the welding points on the subframe and being sort of at risk when you have hard cases that are rigid and don't have quite any cushion to them. You can actually crack the frame, which is pretty much the end of the bike's life, unless you can go out there and be clever about finding a new one and rebuilding it from scratch, if you're that passionate enough about the bike itself. So having the soft cases, if it goes over on its side, gives it some cushion, gives it some structure for you to help pick up the bike. And I think I'm gonna start moving that direction. So without much further ado, I want to talk about the racks that I bought. I did a lot of research on this, and for the price and the reliability and some of the rider comments, I went with Happy Trail. So Happy Trail makes soft luggage cases for under $280, I believe, for the Triumph Tiger generation that I have, the 2016 model year. So that 2015 to 2018 sort of time frame. And they even work on the earlier ones. So the second generation, or first or second generation, the spots where it attaches to the bike are relatively the same. So actually this could go on a 2014 model year, for instance, which was a popular model year. The Happy Trail, it's about 5/8 inch thick, and I'll try to convert that on the screen up here for you in terms of if you're watching from Europe and you like millimeters, centimeters, I can do that metric thing for you. But essentially these are like crash bar thickness, solid luggage rack material. They're powder coated. They're made in the US. They come out of Boise, Idaho, which I also like. I try to do that when I can. I have a truck cover, a rollaway truck cover that's made in North Dakota that I find I'm very satisfied with. So I think, you pay a little bit for quality, and I kind of like getting it around the corner. Idaho is basically a neighbor to Colorado. And it's a small shop, it's very responsive. And so I gave it a shot. So let's take a look at that today. Here's a look at the exhaust side rack for the soft luggage rack made by Happy Trail. So you can kind of see here, this goes down to the lower arm of the subframe, kind of where near the passenger foot peg is located. And then these two here bolt onto two existing holes underneath the passenger seat. Just remove a bolt from that, and it's very easy to sync up to the bike. And we're gonna go take a look at what that looks like here in a second. Okay, so here's a look at what they can look like on the bike itself. I went ahead and put on the swing arm side rack, and because I find it to be the easiest side to work with because there's no exhaust, right? And the exhaust side rack tends to be the more complicated one, just to kind of fit around the exhaust. So I left that because I'm sure that's the one you guys are most interested in. But essentially, yeah, you have these holes, okay? There and there. They're pre-existing, they're under the seat. This one's a little harder to see, but it's underneath the passenger. Actually, it's underneath the luggage rack, excuse me. And then here, it's gonna bolt down. It's got this nice custom cut, basically aluminum material, and it kind of fits over. It's got a cross piece that comes on the back, and it's rock solid. I can literally pick this bike up. This is like crash bar stuff. And notice the width of it relative to the front of the bike. So if you do have a tip over, this is a nice stabilizing piece also to grab onto. So this piece here will be required to be removed. You have a tail piece, and I'll show you what that looks like. So this is just a bunch of 8mm head bolts, and this came on the bike factory. And so if you're looking at the rear piece of the bike, it's going to look like it's going to fit on there like that. Okay, so to have access to this rear bolt of the Happy Trail Soft Luggage system, you got to remove these 4 bolts. Very easy, pops right off, thick piece of plastic, and then you can get in there and put that bolt in there and nut. So I'm going to go ahead and put this other one on, fast action video, and we'll review at the end. Okay, here's the finished product. We've got them on both sides, obviously got it over the exhaust. Nice tight fit over the exhaust, but it does have a small enough gap, very small. I couldn't torque these down because of the space between the exhaust and the actual nut, which I'm not a huge fan of it, but there's enough gap there for some heat loss as you're moving the bike. But yeah, I'm thrilled with these. I mean, these are rock solid, torqued in, nice and symmetrical. I like the way that they came out symmetrically. And I'm excited to get them on the road with some actual luggage, which will be the next part in this series.